5 million years ago in a world untouched by man. Vast jungles stretch across endless landscapes, volcanoes breathe smoke into the skies, and strange creatures roam a dangerous earth where survival belongs only to the strongest. This is not the world of humans, it is the age of primal titans. The balance of life rests in the clash between colossal beasts, predators born of ancient power. Among them, two reign above all others: the mighty ape, Kong, and the ancient serpent, Ophion, the giant python. Kong is a young but fierce guardian of his mountain kingdom, towering above trees, his roar shaking the heavens. His tribe has been wiped out by storms and predators, leaving him the last of his kind. He is both king and orphan, carrying the weight of survival on his massive shoulders. Far below, in the darkest rivers that twist like veins through the jungle, sleeps Ophion. Longer than mountains are tall, with scales like obsidian and eyes like burning coals, he is the terror whispered by every living creature. Ophion is no ordinary serpent. He is a remnant of a time before time, a being that feeds not just on flesh, but on fear. The story unfolds with the balance of nature beginning to fracture. Earth trembles with violent quakes, rivers turn black, and prey animals vanish. Legends whispered among the primal tribes of lesser beasts speak of a prophecy. When the ape and serpent clash, the fate of the world will change. We see Kong rise from the jungle mist, hunting, protecting his territory from rival beasts, saber-toothed cats, horned reptiles, and monstrous crocodiles. His strength is unmatched, but his loneliness is profound. Meanwhile, Ophion awakens from centuries of slumber. The great python moves like a living river, swallowing entire herds, his body coiling around cliffs and snapping them like twigs. He is the living nightmare beneath the surface of paradise. Their first encounter comes not in battle, but in silence. Kong, roaring from his mountain, hears a deep hiss that answers him from the valley. For the first time, the mighty ape senses an equal. For the first time, he knows fear. The jungle becomes a battleground of signs, uprooted trees, crushed animals, rivers split apart. The world itself seems to prepare for the coming clash. Smaller beasts flee in terror, leaving the land eerily quiet. Kong's journey is not just physical but emotional. He remembers flashes of his fallen kin, especially his mother, who once fought a smaller serpent to protect him. Her last roar echoes in his memory as if urging him toward destiny. Ophion, too, is not just a beast, but a force of nature. In his silent eyes flickers an ancient memory. He has slain titans before. He is the serpent of eternity, the first predator, and to him, Kong is merely another challenger to be crushed. The world's skies darken as the two draw nearer. Lightning strikes the mountains. Volcanoes crack open. Even the earth itself seems to tremble in anticipation of their meeting. The first true battle erupts near a colossal waterfall. Kong charges with a roar that shakes the cliffs, while Ophion rises like a living tower of scales, hissing with thunder. Their clash sends shockwaves through the valley, the water turning red as smaller creatures scatter. At first, Kong's strength gives him the upper hand, his fists pound like boulders, his chest thunderous with defiance. But Ophion's coils wrap around him, suffocating him, pulling him into the abyss of the river. The Ape King is nearly drowned. Bruised and broken, Kong retreats to the mountains. His pride is wounded, but his spirit remains. The jungle mourns with him, birds vanish, storms crash, and the once lush land begins to wither under the serpent's reign. In his isolation, Kong finds something unexpected, a small herd of mammoths, protecting a calf from predators. Instead of killing them, he shields them, earning their trust. It is a reminder that his strength is not just destruction, but also protection. This bond rekindles his purpose. Kong is not just a beast, he is a guardian. He cannot allow Ophion to consume the world. Meanwhile, Ophion grows bolder, attacking even volcanoes themselves, slithering through lava flows, feeding on fire as though immortal. His body stretches across mountains, casting shadows that turn day into night. The final confrontation becomes inevitable. The jungle empties as if the entire earth is holding its breath. The air is heavy, storms gather, and the sky glows blood red. The battlefield is chosen, a valley of stone where rivers meet and mountains rise, the very heart of the land. Kong approaches with purpose, his chest scarred, but his eyes burning with determination. Ophion rises from the earth, his coils crushing forests, his hiss echoing like thunder. The ground splits beneath him, as though rejecting his unnatural presence. The clash begins with fury. Kong hurls boulders, slams his fists, and roars until the mountains shake. Ophion coils, bites, and strangles, his fangs dripping venom that burns the soil. The battle is long and brutal, stretching from day into night. Kong is thrown against cliffs, his blood staining the ground. Ophion is torn by teeth and fists, his scales shattered like armor. At the height of battle, Ophion constricts Kong, nearly snapping his bones. The serpent lifts him high, preparing to crush him forever. The world seems to freeze. But Kong remembers the face of his mother, the cries of the herd he protected, the silence of the jungle that depends on him. With a primal roar that shakes the stars, he summons his last strength. He bites into Ophion's neck, tears his coils apart, and slams the serpent into the mountains with godlike fury. The valley explodes with their struggle, dust and fire blotting the skies. Finally, Kong rips the serpent's head from his body, holding it aloft as lightning cracks across the heavens. Ophion's body writhes, then falls silent. The serpent of eternity is slain. The land breathes again. Rivers run clear, the jungle blooms, and smaller creatures return. The world is saved, at least for now. But Kong does not roar in triumph. He walks into the mist, scarred, weary, carrying the burden of his survival. He knows more monsters will rise, and his war is never truly over. The story closes with the camera pulling away from Kong's silhouette against the blood-red horizon. A king not crowned by choice, but by destiny. The last titan of a forgotten age, standing alone, guardian of a world that will one day give birth to man. The body of Ophion lies shattered across the valley, his coils stretching for miles like broken mountains. Rain begins to fall, washing away the blood and venom that poisoned the land. The storm feels like a funeral, mourning the fallen titan, yet cleansing the earth of his corruption. Kong stands alone in the silence. His chest rises and falls heavily, his wounds bleeding, but his eyes glow with something beyond survival, purpose. He does not roar. He bows his head, acknowledging that even victory comes at the price of sacrifice. The jungle slowly awakens. Birds return to the sky, small creatures creep from their hiding places, and rivers flow pure once more. Yet the earth remembers what has transpired. It has been scarred by the battle of gods. But Kong knows this is not the end. For in the distant horizon, volcanoes rumble and ancient shapes stir beneath the oceans. Ophion was not the only monster of eternity. Kong returns to his mountain, carrying scars both visible and hidden. His hands, once only weapons of destruction, have become symbols of protection. He gazes down at the jungle and sees himself not as a ruler, but as a guardian bound to its destiny. The mammoths approach him once more, the calf now walking bravely beside its mother. Kong reaches out his massive hand, not to harm, but to shield. They trust him now, as if sensing the new balance he has restored. But peace is fragile. In the depths of the ocean, a shadow moves. Larger than Ophion, with jaws like mountains and fins like wings, a leviathan stirs. This is Echidna, mother of serpents, enraged by the death of her son. Her roar beneath the sea shakes the waves and cracks the shoreline. The ocean itself rises in rebellion, sending tsunamis crashing into the jungle. Kong feels it, the call of another war, the promise of a greater enemy. The jungle quakes once more, but this time it is not just fear, it is loyalty. Herds gather near Kong's mountain. Creatures of claw, tusk, and horn instinctively circle their guardian, as if preparing to stand under his protection. Kong becomes more than a lone survivor. He becomes a leader. His presence unites species that once preyed upon each other, all drawn to the strength of the giant ape who defied eternity itself. The nights grow darker, with storms sweeping across the land. Stars vanish behind clouds of ash. From the sea emerges Echidna, colossal and terrible, her scales gleaming like blackened steel. She towers even higher than Kong, a nightmare given flesh. Her arrival splits the earth. Cliffs collapse, rivers boil, and the horizon burns with fire. Every living creature trembles before her fury. She is not merely here for vengeance, she comes to reclaim the earth as her domain. Kong descends from his mountain, every step shaking the ground. His roar echoes across valleys, summoning courage to all who hear it. This is no longer just his fight, it is the fight of every living creature. The clash between Kong and Echidna begins on the shores of the great ocean. Waves tower like mountains as the Serpent Goddess strikes with her colossal coils, shattering stone and snapping trees. Kong answers with his fists, pounding the earth, hurling boulders, and striking with the strength of storms. Each blow is like thunder. Each roar is like lightning. The battle shakes the world itself. Echidna drags Kong into the sea, pulling him into her element, where her power is unmatched. He struggles beneath the crushing waters, his lungs burning, his roars drowned. The ocean seems ready to claim him. But then, from the depths, Kong finds new strength. He pushes against her coils, his arms straining with the force of mountains, and breaks free, rising from the waves like a god reborn. The final battle rages across land and sea, tearing apart jungles, mountains, and waves. Kong slams Echidna into cliffs, while she drags him through forests and rivers. Blood, fire, and storm become one. At last, with a roar that splits the skies, Kong seizes a jagged mountain peak, wielding it like a spear. As Echidna lunges with her fangs wide, he drives the stone through her skull, piercing the beast of eternity. The Serpent Goddess collapses, shaking the earth with her fall. Her coils stretch across the sea, her body forming new islands as waves crash around her. She is defeated, her reign ended. Kong stands victorious, but not unscarred. His body bears wounds deeper than before, his strength nearly spent.
What do we have here?
Yet in his eyes burns an unyielding fire, the spirit of a king forged in battle. The jungle bows to him. Herds gather around. Birds circle above. Even the ocean grows calm, as though acknowledging the ape who has become more than a beast. He is now the guardian of the world.
We've been tracking it for
But the
days.
story does not end.
It must be close now.
Far in the distance, beyond mountains and seas, shadows still stir, creatures older than time, waiting in darkness. The War of Titans has only begun. The film closes with Kong walking into the horizon,